wrestling from today in the past. It's gonna be a blast. Johnny and Harmon are the Main Event Podcast.
Oh my goodness, that was the longest start.
That was forever.
That took forever to get on the air. Oh my God. Hello, Harmon.
Forever. Just like how long ago our last show was. Forever ago.
That was forever ago. Yeah. My bad about last week. Yeah, totally my fault. We were lined up to have DL Hurst on the show, and at the very last second, like literally 5 minutes before we all went on the air, I said, guys, I gotta go. Work called, and I really have to go. Like shit is hitting the fan. So I had to go. It was a bit of an emergency, and I left you guys out to dry, and I really apologize to you guys for that. I apologize to the listeners for that. But you know, man, real life happens sometimes, and you know, we got to react. So apologize for no show last week. We are planning on having DL on. He's been super cool about it. The guy's like, hey, I've got a broken leg. I'm not going anywhere. So
yeah, even that night he was like, yeah, I've been sleeping all day, so I'm pretty tired still.
Yeah, I've been sleeping all day, and I'm still really tired. So don't worry about it. Yeah. So we're going to get him on, I believe, next week. And so I'm really interested in that. I really want to get
because he spent
his story.
this past weekend working on his tan on the Cape.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and we saw him at the Vacation Land Cup. That was really nice to see him out there. And although a friggin' cage almost fell on top of him, though, so that happened. So, but we can get into that at a later date with him. But man, tonight, Harmon. Comeback show. We've got a good one. We're returning to the tournament format. We are talking biggest rule breakers in professional wrestling.
I've got a list. I think they're all pretty obvious though, so hopefully we'll just pick around each other's picks.
Yeah, you know, exactly. I mean, and we're gonna run them through the bracket. I mean, I think that sometimes, you know, the most obvious ones are great to have in, but it's you know, a guy that flies under the radar, and it's all really high.
Wait, so we're going to pit guys that cheat against guys that cheat and see who wins?
Be awesome. Yes, it's going to be fantastic.
This is a fucking train wreck already.
This is great. I know. And here to help us out is a.
You know what we need, Johnny? We need an official. We need an official.
We do need an official. We need an official, and that official is going to be Squishy. Welcome to the show, Squishy.
Thanks,
What's
guys.
up,
Thanks
man?
for having me on.
First zebra on the program.
I am honored.
That's true. I mean,
second zebra.
Second, yeah, because we did have top shelf Troy Nelson on, but we didn't have Chikara referee Troy Nelson on. We had legit top shelf Troy Nelson. So
that's true.
You know, but we did talk a little bit of reffing. But Squishy, welcome to the show, my man. This is awesome. I'm very happy to have you on.
Thank you for having me. It's blast. I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys.
Nice, man. Before we do the tournament, wanted to we're gonna do some quick plugs, but I really want to get back to you. I want to get your story, where you're from, how you get into reffing in this crazy world of professional wrestling, and what that's like. So, you got some time for some questions before we dive into the tournament?
Of course.
Awesome. Very good. Like I said, before that, let's get into some quick plugs. You guys can check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Main Event Pod. And we are on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, wherever you guys get your podcasts from. We are there. We have a hotline. If you guys would like to call us and leave us a message, however you guys want to get in contact with us.
Hotline!
Yep, there that is, a hotline. That number is 929-260-3099. Leave us a message. Tell Harmon, I don't know, that, you know, he should do a solo show once in a while. I don't know. No?
Good luck with that.
All right. Teespring. We got a Teespring store. You guys can get your Main Event Pod merch. My stuff came in finally, and it's, man, you are right, Harmon. New material with the shirts.
Yeah,
it is.
They are almost as soft as Retro AG shirts.
Yeah, yep. They're nice, man. I got a tank top, a V-neck. My wife got a V-neck. Holy moly, the material, great. Doing great things. Big up.
I got a towel.
Teespring. You got a GD towel. Unbelievable.
GD towel.
I saw it on a dock recently.
Yeah, last week, the dock. I was at the lake when I rushed home because we were doing a show. And as soon as I get in the door, you're like, yeah, I can't do the show.
Can't do the show. I know.
I was on a boat, John.
You left a boat, a lake, and some ladies. I
had
understand.
boats and hose, and you fucked it all up.
Boats and hose. Yeah, sorry, my man. Ah, jeez, I'm embarrassed. Anyway, another plug here. Strong Style Brand. You guys got to get into Strong Style Brand. Go to the site strongstylebrand.com/main event pod. Load up your cart full of stuff, and at checkout, type in the code main event pod. You're going to get yourself 10% off of all the cool swag that they've got over there.
If they have the shorts in your size, get them. Oh my
shorts
God.
Are great. The shorts are great. So, and upcoming events. Let's Wrestle Volume 2 is August 17th, 7 p.m. at the American Legion Post 84 up in Orono, Maine. Get your tickets at limitlesswrestling.com. The event is called Young Till We Die, and Harmon and I will be doing commentary once again for them. And it's going to be a blast, man. It's going to be such a kick-ass show. AG is going to be there. The Masshole Mike McCarthy will be returning. Insanely Rude tag team going to be making their debut up there. Fox Vineyard returns. And then a blockbuster tag team match between Calvin Strange and Todd Harris versus Danger Kid and Aiden Agro. What a card. I'm excited to call it. And it's going to be fun, man. Real fun. So get your tickets now and come up to Orono with us. Make the trip. It'll be fun. That's it. That's all I got.
No, you're wrong. There's more. There's a show this weekend in Hollis, Maine at the Hollis Pirate Fest.
That's true. Yep. How cool is that?
Limitless Wrestling will be bringing the talent. I think it's free.
Is it free?
I don't know.
Are you sure?
No.
It seems like that wouldn't be a free thing. Like, I'm sure it costs money to get into the Pirate Fest.
Does it?
I can't imagine things are free now.
I'm not paying anybody to get into that thing.
Unbelievable. You're just going to walk in and be like,
yes,
whatever. I know I own Hollis.
I'm with the band.
With the band. I'm going to put up a cage. Just kidding.
I'll be like, my family sold you this land. Shut up.
Wow. Jesus. So yeah, get into that as well. All right, boys. Squishy, I want to know all about you, man. What is your deal? First of all, let's just get this out of the way. What's the deal with the name Squishy? Where'd you come up with that? Because your name is Josh.
Yeah, my name is Josh. I spent the first 3 months with no name, as most referees end up having for the first little bit, and we were driving 6 hours to a show, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with a lot of maritime-based talent, but I was driving with Brody Steele, who travels all over the world. He's come to Maine a few times, and he actually is the #1 heel in India right now against the Great Khali for CWE.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, he was driving and he said, "Hey, Josh," and beside me was another Josh, and we both said, "What?" at the same time, and he said, "Well, this isn't going to fucking happen." And so he said to Josh, who goes by Riddick Stone in the Maritimes, he says, what does it feel like sitting beside him? He goes, "Well, he's pretty squishy." And from there, I've just been called Squishy. And it's been 2 years since that moment, and it's gone by pretty quick, and I've been squishy the whole time. And yeah, I could either fight it, like, it's not the most endearing.
That's a tough beat right there.
It is, but if you fight it, you get it twice as bad.
Oh God, yeah. You always end up with a name you don't want.
And like, I'd rather Squishy than like Fatso or like Big Boy or something like that. So like, Squishy's all right, and that's quite endearing to the fans. The fans can get behind Squishy, and yeah, it's been 2 years since Squishy's been born, and I've been traveling quite a bit.
Nice. Yeah, because I know you did a Limitless. It was like a undercard, right? Like a
So I did. I refereed Domino, and I DL Hurst against Madison Miles and Ace Austin.
Yes.
And that was my debut to Limitless.
Right. And I remember like you got like the announcer was like Squishy, and I was like, oh, that's a weird name for a referee. Like, it's not just like a normal name. That's interesting. And like the crowd, you're right. The crowd like kind of did get behind it because like they cheered. Well,
the guy Max Smashmaster didn't know that my name was Squishy. So he gave me a completely different name.
Okay.
On the commentary for Limitless Wrestling, I am known as Juicy Jerry Beauregard.
Where did that come from?
I
you
have
make
no
that up?
idea. He made it up on the spot, and he had Anthony Green. If you go back, it's on YouTube, the whole match. And Anthony Green goes, actually, I think his name is Squishy. And he goes, that's really rude of you. He says, I got the time to get to know Juicy Jerry Beauregard. And I talked to him backstage, and I was like, oh my word. Like, I just died when I heard it, like, 2 weeks later.
Oh, that's
But yeah,
so
it's
funny.
on YouTube on Limitless Wrestling's page. Dale Hurst and Domino against Mass Miles. He's awesome. Great match. And that match subsequently got me my spot on the Limitless roster.
Nice.
So later that night, I got to referee Christian Casanova versus Brody King, where the most vicious chop I've ever heard in my life happened.
Yeah.
Same here. That was
Yeah,
a ridiculous chop.
People stopped what they were doing, and when they heard that, and were just like, that guy's broken. He's broken in half. He put his hand through the guy's chest.
The guy has no rib cage anymore. No, nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, his chest was like hamburger after. It was gross. Oh,
And
it's awful.
he's an intimidating guy, Brody King. Like, can we talk about that for a second?
Yes, please do.
Try
First-
to get in between him and somebody he's about to fight
Yeah.
is more nerve-wracking than being in a fight yourself.
Like trying to stop a bulldozer, it's not going to happen.
Dude, it's like when 100%. You're the Acme, you're the Looney Tunes character standing from the bulldozer and slowly just running you over.
Oh my god, is he one of the more intimidating guys you've had to step in front of in your time refereeing?
I've had a few guys. Brody Steele, who is in the Maritimes, #1 heel in India. He's definitely one of those guys. Very old school, like rugged heel. Like he does. He's very, his wrestling style is very old school and nothing flashy, just fists, kicks, and slams. And he's 6 foot. I want to say 6'7", 350 pounds. Yeah. So he's been up there. Brody King. I actually refereed. Oh my goodness, Jeff Cannonball and Brandon Kirk against the Thick Boys. Free to Think. Those two boys together, they're just loose cannons. So you don't know what to expect.
Oh, I know it all too well. Yeah, they yelled at me in a bathroom once.
They yelled at you in a bathroom.
Yeah.
What were you doing in the same bathroom as those two boys? How did that end up happening? That's like two guys you don't want to meet in an alley.
It's
Yeah.
a big bathroom.
Yeah, I just went in to go to the bathroom and like they were cutting a promo, and but they started their promo like as I was like midstream, and I was like, oh shit, like they're cutting a promo, like what do I do? And then like so I was kind of like trying to, and this story's been told in this podcast, but I was trying to like sneak out, unnoticed and doing like the very cartoony like walk, like I'm just on my tippy toes, like trying to sneak out of here, and Jeff Cannonball just yelled at me like and told me to get the fuck out of the bathroom. And Brandon Kirk was like, "We're cutting a promo, like how dare I?" It was pretty good. It was one of the scariest moments I've ever been at a professional wrestling show. So that was good. So I can imagine though, like being right in the ring with those guys and having to be like, okay, come on, like I'm counting to 5, like enough with this,
Yeah, and especially when they turn to you and raise a fist, and you're like, I don't want to die. Like,
Right. Of course.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Right.
Remember I had only seen pictures of Brody King, and then I saw him in person, and we shook hands. And I have big hands, and his hand like enveloped mine. And I looked at him and went, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And he's like,
Now, is he the biggest hands you've ever shook hands with? Because if you've ever shaken hands with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, that guy has the biggest hands I've ever seen in the world.
Oh my goodness.
"Really? No,
Never-
He,
yeah."
he
Brody
can
was definitely-
palm a watermelon, no problem.
Wow. Hacksaw. I mean, it makes sense. He's a huge dude. Oh my god.
Shaking hands with Brody King was like shaking hands with a guy with a boxing glove on. It was like, Jesus, I mean, that's a big hand.
Yeah. Wow. That's so funny. So, how'd you get here, man? Where? First of all, where are you from? You're from?
I'm from New Brunswick, Canada. I'm right on the border, St. Andrews by the Sea, little vacation town, right on the other side of Calais, Maine.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. So I know Maine quite a bit. I'd come down for a few Limitless wrestling shows before I got into wrestling. So some of those first few shows. And then I was just taking pictures at local show, and the referee didn't show up. And the promoter looked at me and said, "Kid, you're getting your shot." And I was like, "I beg your pardon?" And like I've been training for about a month now in the Maritimes to be a wrestler, not a referee at all. It never crossed my mind. I thought there's only one way into wrestling, and it's being a wrestler. Like referees are former wrestlers that can't take bumps anymore, or whatever. So I was training, and he said, "Well, you're in." And I start like, "What am I going to do? Like, I'm not ready for this." And my first match I refereed was with Tyson Dukes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So no pressure or nothing.
Right.
So that was into the spring of 2016, and here we are now. And in between's been a whirlwind. I've gotten to go to Maine. I've gotten to go to PEI, Newfoundland, Ontario, Quebec, all these different places. And like, you can't make this is like a fairy tale for any wrestling fan to get to travel and be a part of the show.
Nice. So, what made you fall in love with wrestling? I mean, obviously, did you watch it as a kid, and then you were just like, I got to do this someday?
Yeah. So I was the only I came across wrestling completely by accident. I was the only person in my family that liked wrestling. My parents didn't like it. I didn't have brothers that watched it. I was the only person. I was just flipping through the channels one day, and like it was on, and I think it was WCW. And like the only thing I remember about my first time watching wrestling was Rey Mysterio was in a pool. Like
Okay.
There was a pool outside by the ramp, and Rey Mysterio did like a Hurricane Rana, or Hurricane Rana somebody into that pool, something along those lines. But that's the first thing I remember. And
sounds like a bash at the beach or something.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And one of my dad's employees was a professional wrestler in the local circuit in Ontario. So when my dad saw that I was starting to like wrestling, I'd go watch the pay-per-views at his employee's house, and there'd be a bunch of wrestlers there. He wrestled in Quebec in the same promotion that Kevin Steen started in. So he was on the same shows as Kevin Steen. I saw one of Kevin Steen's early shows. I was like 7 or 8. But yeah, I've always been a fan. And like as most people do, high school comes around and you kind of lean out a little bit, but you still, you wouldn't admit it, but you're still a diehard fan.
Yeah, of course.
And then I joined the military. And I just dropped it completely until I saw an independent show in Halifax, Nova Scotia. That was AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe.
Oh my God!
On an independent show for $15. So, and then I was like, dude, I need to be involved. I need to do something. So I from there found out who I could get trained by, and that's Dick Durning here in the Maritimes. And between him and Marcus Burke, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Marcus Burke. He's been down to Maine a few times. They're the two guys that helped train me to be who I am today.
Nice. So they had a school you went to, and
so in the Maritimes, we're kind of like a nobody comes in, nobody comes out. Was the mold. So like there was no real schools. We were trained by the most veteran wrestler. It was a garage with a ring set up in it, and we trained Thursday night, Saturday day, Sunday morning.
Neat.
Nice. It was just a random garage, no heating. Like it was like a montage of a Rocky movie.
Yeah. So you're training with them to be a wrestler, not to be a ref, to be a wrestler, and then a month in, you're thrown in as a ref.
Yes.
So then after that, are you like, oh, this ref thing is pretty cool, or how did you just take to reffing like immediately, or were you like, oh, I still want to wrestle?
Well, at that time there was only one real major promotion running.
Yeah. And
they're like, well, you've already ref for us, so like we can't now just make you a wrestler.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't see why not. I'll just keep being a referee, and
like
we'll just go from.
You can't go Danny Davis on them and be like, I'm a wrestler.
I can't go AG style. No.
No. Damn.
I know, but so I was like, well, I'm enjoying this. It's fun. And then they found out I knew how to bump, and for all of 2017. Every main event, I quickly became, so I went from being the opener VIP referee in 2016 the start, and I closed 2016 as the head official for 3 promotions in the Maritimes.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, and then they found out, oh, you trained to be a wrestler. You know how to bump. Perfect. You are going to be the main event referee, and you are going to bump every show. It wasn't said like that, but it happened like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's funny.
from all of 2017 and until it's still going, Marco Estrada from Quebec has been bumping me every show.
Nice. And you love it.
I mean, it's pretty awesome. I got my comeuppance a couple of weeks ago, and I now have the squishy stunner, as the fans have dubbed it.
I've seen it, yes.
Yeah, so he pushed me around far too long, and they said, you know what, kid, you're going to get your shot tonight. And I said, beg your pardon? They said, you're going to hit Marco first. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Finally.
Nice.
I was like, and like, we're like, the Maritimes is pretty tight knit, like, and Limbless is tight knit, but like, I've been in locker rooms where like the guys don't like each other, nobody talks, like, it's just like, they're just there to do the job, they're here to get paid, and that's it. Yeah. Maritimes, we're all friends, we all joke, we all like ride to the same towns together. So I told him, like, I'm gonna stiff you, I'm gonna hit you so hard, I'm gonna knock you out, and you're not gonna be able to kick out when he hits that 450 on you. He goes, oh, little squishy, gonna hit you in your pee-pee. And like, that's Marco, like, that's who he is, he's a child. But so we just back and forth, and then the moment came, and he's like, you think you can do it? I was like, can I do it? And he's like, don't like Hogan stunner me where you just fall to your ass. I'm like, oh, I won't. This is my moment.
Nice.
Yeah, so I hit the stunner, crowd goes nuts. They think he's the biggest heel in the Maritimes. Everyone hates him. He's got like that genuine heat, not that, ooh, it's cool, he's a cool heel, I'm gonna cheer him. Yeah. He's got genuine heat. So like when I hit that stun, place erupt, every fan's on their seats. The Chavs Toxic hits the 450, 1, 2, kick out, and then I get rock bottomed.
Right.
Straight to hell. Like concussion number 3.
Oh jeez. So why the stunner? Like, is it just? I mean, besides it just being like a cool like Stone Cold move, like what?
He it was just something that like everyone like he was like you could hit like an RKO. I'm like everyone uses like the RKO. Like that's not like who like everyone uses it. We need something that like can be hit out of nowhere and people won't expect it, but it's not an RKO or like a DDT. He goes the stunner. I'm like
nice.
I'm like I dig it. The squishy stunner. And it was either, and then what was supposed to happen, he uses a frog splash, so he wanted to hit me with a frog splash, and I said, dude, come on. Don't do that.
You're like, I draw the line there.
I was like, I ate lunch like 3 hours ago. I do not want to puke in a ring. Can we not do that? He goes, fine, you'll be rock bottom. He's like, but once you're down, if I decide I'm going to frog splash you, you better sell for it. I'm like, oh, good God. Like, this guy's pile driven me before, like, this guy just wants to kill me. Like, it's ridiculous.
Man, it doesn't pay to be the ref, brother.
No, it does not at all. But there's awesome moments where, like, I've got to do so many cool things, see so many cool places. I got to sing a duet with Kelly Klein at a karaoke night. Like,
what?
Yeah, I sing.
I love her.
She is the most amazing, talented, most underrated professional wrestler.
She's so good.
She's amazing. So she was down for a tour here with us, and we're at karaoke night, and they're all like, hey, Squishy sings. And I was like, oh, shit.
You're like, do I? Damn it.
And like everyone, and like she's like a trained singer. She's like professionally trained singer. And I'm just like, yeah, I sing sometimes in the shower when nobody's looking. But they're like, yeah, go sing with her. I'm like, okay, what do you want to sing? She goes, I want to kind of do something different, not something cheesy. I was like, you want? And so we sang Meatloaf's Paradise by Dashboard Lights.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So I got to do a lot of cool things through wrestling, and it's been a blast, and I'm nowhere near done. I'm only 27 years old. Still got lots of time on these feeble bones.
Yeah, man. A lot of stunners left in your future.
Oh, let's hope I don't got to bust out any more stunners.
Nice. So where are you heading next, man? You got anything coming up with any gigs reffing?
I do. UCW is my home promotion in the Maritimes. We're getting a lot of traction and speed. We had Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne here a couple months ago. We just had a show with Evil Uno. Nice. And PJ Black's coming in September, so we're running 3 towns in September. So that's going to be awesome. PJ Black's going to be on all 3 of those towns. And then after
underrated
that,
wrestler,
I'm
that
hoping to be back at Limitless there shortly.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Nice, man. Cool. I love that. I like that we got to know you a little bit more there, and that our listeners can kind of get to know you, because I expect we're going to be seeing a lot more of you, man. At least.
Well, I hope so. I
Yeah,
hope
man.
so.
Cool.
Now, are you still training? You still training to be a wrestler? You still want to wrestle?
I'm 27. I'm a little bit past the time where if I was gonna do it to seize the moment, if I would have just stuck with it instead of going to reffing,
Come on.
I'd probably.
DDP was like 40.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but I am squishy. I'm called squishy for a reason.
Right. DDP didn't have a name like Squishy, so.
DDP was not fluffy. No, DDP was rock solid,
Yep.
and I enjoy not having to carb count and worry. Like I see these guys, we're all traveling together, and I'm eating Oreo cookies, and they're all like eating salads and boneless chickens without the skin, and I'm like, dude, that's not the life.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
I love cake far too much to be a wrestler. It's either cake or wrestling, and I can ref and eat cake, so that's the way she's gonna go.
You can literally have your cake and eat it too.
Exactly.
So awesome, man. Good. But as far as reffing, you just get experience just by reffing. I mean, how does one just go? If they weren't a wrestler that got thrown into a referee situation one night, how would one go? I want to be a referee. You
can get trained. So
Yeah.
you can go to school, which I didn't know, because the Maritimes doesn't have a set school. You can go to school and say, listen, I want to be a referee, and they will train you.
Nice.
The New England Pro Wrestling Academy is the best school in the area. And I even tell Canadian guys to say, hey, I want to get trained. Where do I go? I say, New England Pro Wrestling School, Pro Wrestling Academy. Hands down, they've put out guys like Josh Briggs, Anthony Green. The names are endless. These guys that are proving themselves on the independent circuit and are going to be the next signees that WWE decides to sign.
Or the
gobble
guys,
up.
the guys in WWE, Warbeard Hansen, Sasha
Yeah.
Banks.
Yeah, so these are the guys that are where you want to be. Go where the guys that you got trained.
Good advice. Good advice. Nice. Yeah, it's funny. What you said at the beginning too is how you didn't you thought there's only one way in as a wrestler. And it's so funny. The more we know is there's so many ways in. You can be a referee. You can be a manager. You can do all this stuff.
The internet is a powerful tool.
Yeah, man, for sure.
I feel like I'm too large to be a referee. I don't think the referee should be bigger than the wrestlers.
That's what they said to me. They're like, you're perfect. You're 5'7". You're not muscular. You don't look jacked. You don't look like a wrestler that put on a ref shirt. You're squishy. So he's like, you're perfect. You are the best thing to be a referee. You're big enough and wide enough that you can get in between guys, but you're not big enough that they go, that guy could kick his ass. They're like, if he gets hit, he's going down.
Yeah, nice. That's perfect. Nice.
I feel like
man.
there'd be a lot of spots if I was a ref where guys would run and I'd be in the way and they'd hit me and just fall down.
You just couldn't get out of the way.
You just stand there and they pounce over the top rope like Ace did to that guy down in where was that?
Oh, that was in Chicago or something.
Yeah, they just fly over the top rope into the first row.
Yeah. I don't think Harmon. I don't think they can find some zebra stripes big enough for you, buddy. Jeez.
No.
I'll get my Nana to knit you one. It's all good.
My Nana.
Just tell her it's a 10.
Yeah.
10? Perfect. Gotcha.
It's a 10.
Perfect. Oh, man. All right, boys. Well, let's get into this tournament here.
Johnny should train to be a ref. He's little.
I know.
Nobody noticed him.
I'm a little guy.
He's got a lot of he's good with words though. So commentating, I struggle with words. Words are hard, man. And when you got the gift of the gab, you should definitely use it. Managing, I think Johnny could be a good manager. You'd be a good manager too, John.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. We'll see what the future holds if this whole podcasting thing doesn't work out. We'll see.
Calling matches is the worst, by the way. It is.
It's hard.
It's harder than it looks.
It's so hard. People are like, "Oh, that's really fun." I'm like, "It is fun." But it's really friggin' hard. You have to be really quick and really you have to know things.
You have to do homework. I'm not good at homework.
Yeah, you have to do homework.
I have done no homework.
I do Harmon's homework for him, and I just because I don't want to fail.
I did a little bit of homework before I did what what was it, what, 4 or whatever that I did down in Providence.
Yeah, with Rich.
Yeah, I did a little bit of homework. Still, I only called like clotheslines and
Yeah.
in like 450s. I was like, oh man, that was awesome.
Yeah, it's difficult, but hey, man.
You can hear that on highspots.com.
Bro, wow, that was the quickest plug I've ever heard. There you go. Cheap plug.
I love it. I subscribe to it. It's well
Nice.
worth it.
High Spot Network.
Nice. All right, boys. So we're gonna do this tournament. We usually do like a 16 seed tournament, but we're gonna shorten it down because I definitely wanted to have time to talk to Squishy here and get his backstory. So we've shortened it down to 12, which is a weird bracket, but I did some sleuthing and I found a good bracket here that I'm going to use to keep everything in order. And so Squishy, I don't know if you've listened to any of our past tournament episodes, but how it works is we kind of all submit one at a time, and then once the bracket's full, we run down through the bracket and we decide on majority rules here of who advances to the next round. So.
And I can never remember who's facing who, so.
Yeah, I have it all written down over here.
Yeah, I know.
So, with that being said, and we're gonna go through the whole thing too. We're gonna crown a champ tonight. Usually, we let it go to the listeners and let them crown one, but hell,
Yeah, fuck
we're gonna
them.
do it all.
If it's a tie and you both choose one, am I the tiebreaker being the official? Is that the way this is going to work?
Well, we kind of each take turns. So sometimes you might be in a situation where you are the tiebreaker and you will have to make a decision, and then sometimes I'll be in that situation, sometimes Harmon. So we kind of just fudge it as we go. But
Sweet.
Yeah. So it is the hot seat sometimes. But we each get to kind of plead our case too, like, hey, I think this guy should advance because blah 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 reasoning. So,
And your name's not Greg, so John and I have a chance.
Yeah, we usually have our buddy Greg on to do this with us, and he usually like kicks our asses.
It's usually his 2 guys facing each other in the end. It's like,
Yeah.
come on.
It's really annoying, but yeah. So Squishy, you are our guest, so why don't you go first? First.
If I'm going first,
Yes,
I'm going to take the most obvious and probably my favorite wrestler of all time, because his mantra was he lies, he cheats, he steals. It's Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, nice. Good.
Very good choice.
Harmon, bring it. Who do you get for the number 2 seed?
The dirtiest player in the game, Ric Flair.
Never heard of him.
No?
Just kidding. I was wondering which one of you guys would throw him out there.
Most famous thing he did was have a daughter, I think.
What?
Yep.
Come on. Wow.
Yep.
He's very famous in the bar scene too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who was it? Somebody recently just told me that they saw like his house or something. They were down in whatever, North Carolina, South Carolina, one of those, and they saw like his mansion, and it was just like the most magnificent thing he's ever seen. I'm like, yeah, that's Ric Flair for you. No. Okay, I'm up 3 seed. I'm gonna go with probably my favorite wrestler of all time. He's a guy who is beloved as a face, but he had such a good run as a heel, and that is the Macho Man Randy Savage. More specifically as Macho King was a good one where he was like full on heel and doing a lot of cheating, him and Sensational Sherry. So I'm going to go Macho at the number 3.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to swing it back the other way. Harmon, why don't you go?
This person probably did more crotch shots than, Shinsuke's done. Is China.
Ooh, China. A lot of crotch shots, yeah. A lot of ball busting there. All right, China. Going number 4. All right.
Squishy, what you got?
And somebody that did even more crotch chops than China, you got to go with Triple H.
Oh,
That's
Triple
a good
H.
one.
He was on my list.
Sledgehammers.
That's the first thing.
He was known for a weapon. Like,
yeah. How do you not go with a guy who is known for that? All right, guys. I'm kind of, my era is like 90s, late 80s, early 90s wrestling. So a lot of
me too.
be there. So this might be a very dated bracket for me. But I'm going to go in the number 6 spot. I'm going to go Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, or the regular Hulk Hogan. And here's my reasoning for the Hulkster, non-Hollywood. Hulk Hogan in the red and yellow was always doing shady bullshit. If you go back and watch the tape, he's like grabbing Hacksaw Jim Duggan's 2x4 and like hitting Andre the Giant, hitting Earthquake. Like, he was a shady motherfucker back in the day, but people just loved him. You know, say your train, say your prayers, you know, take your vitamins. Fuck that. Hogan was a shady dude, and he proved it.
Still a shady dude.
Still a shady dude, yeah. But he proved it when he went Hollywood, like full on heel. So I'm gonna go with the Hulkster. Squishy, what about you?
All right, so I'm going to put one right into your wheelhouse. Right, it's not. I watched tape of this guy. I never got to really watch him and study him. But when Ken Patera turned heel,
whoa, that name, good name.
He was when he turned heel. His mantra was, "You need to cheat to win."
Yes.
So I mean, like, how can you not choose Ken Patera?
Right. God, good name drop. I haven't thought of Ken Patera in forever. That's great. I'm so happy that he's in this tournament right now. Harmon, who do you got for us?
Wow. Everybody else on my list is very dated except for like one guy. This guy was a wrestler, but he was mostly known for being a manager. Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Of course.
Ooh.
Of course. Right? Of course. I'll put him right there at the number 8.
You could always get his guys to win.
The Weasel. All right. I'm up here. You know, if we're gonna go managers, I've got a manager on my list. I'm gonna go with Mr. Fuji. Always throwing the salt in the eyes. Doesn't matter if he was managing Demolition or managing, I don't know, a slew of other people. The Barbarian. It doesn't matter. He was throwing salt in everybody's eyes. So, Mr. Fuji. God, I got to get out of this 80s, 90s era here. My next one's going to be someone a little more current, I think, unless he's taken. But by then. Let's see. Harmon, is it back to you?
Sure.
Okay.
I got a lot of good names left on my list, but this is my last one. It is, isn't it?
It is your last one. Last one.
All right. This is just a favorite pick of mine. I thought this guy was the most rotten thing ever when I was a kid. Is the model Rick Martel.
Oh, wow. He wasn't on my list, and I'm surprised. That's great. Rick Martel.
He had that big like bug sprayer with a perfume in it. Oh, that thing was.
I still remember like
that thing blinded so many people.
Yeah, Jake the Snake, most memorable. They had like a blindfold match, I think. I just remember that vaguely from my youth. But yeah, Rick Martel, good call. Squishy, last pick.
Oof. I mean, this is very difficult. I got 2 names, and one of them, if they're omit, I'd feel terrible. So I'm going to say it. Roddy Piper.
Yeah, he was on my list too. Yeah, Piper, good call. You know what's funny about Piper? I was thinking about him earlier for this, and it's like he's known as like one of the greatest heels of all time, but like he wasn't a heel for that long. Like
everyone loved him.
You know what I mean? Like I think after, well, like late 80s, early 90s, like he really went face, and he was like the IC champ, and he had a good feud with Brett, and like he never really went back heel, at least what I remember. Like even when he like went to WCW, and you know he was.
Yeah, he was like a cool heel, like Stone Cold though. Like,
yeah.
Wasn't?
Yeah. What's that, Josh?
Wasn't he put in prison in WCW too?
Probably. They were doing all kinds of crazy shit then. Yeah. I just know he was like feuding with Flair, and he was feuding with Hogan, and it was like he was always the face. But people say, "Oh, you know, he was one of the greatest heels of all time," and it's like, yes, I agree. But yeah, you know, the coconut man is just a cheater. He's a goddamn cheater. All right, last pick of the tournament and last pick for me. I'm gonna go with somebody a little more current. I'm going to go with The Miz, even though I like him. I think that Miz is like, he's just that guy he's a heel, and he works best as a heel, and he just cheats his balls off. He always has like
a handful of tights, using his
tights or something.
legs up on the ropes.
Yep, he's got a lot of.
You've never seen that
too.
though, have you, Squishy?
Oh, never.
Never seen it, no. But he, uses his wife to kind of like put in front or in between like him and his opponent, and and then he had like the entourage here with Bo and Curtis, and it's just like he always has something up his sleeve. So he's a good.
Oh, then he had the stunt double with Mizdow.
Oh, that's right. Mizdow. I mean, God, as much as I shit on the guy, he's just awesome. I mean. Great heel, great rule breaker, great cheater. So that's it, boys. The field is filled out here, so we are going to run down this first round. So the way this works is,
do you want to do some honorable mentions now or later?
Let's do some honorable mentions. Yeah, people that didn't make this tournament. That sounds great. Honorable mentions. Harmon,
I've got 2 or 3 right here.
Okay,
go ahead.
Harmon, why don't you give me one? Harmon, give me one.
The $1 Million Man.
Yeah. Yep. I was thinking about him earlier. Absolutely.
I just remember him like swindling kids out of money. Like he would offer them up money for something if they could like balance a ball on their finger or something, and then like kick him in the leg or something, and they would knock the ball over. And he'd laugh at them and take his $100 bill back. Oh my God.
Well, he almost like bought his way into the WWE Championship. Like he almost bought the WWE Championship. So it didn't happen, but he almost did. So, Josh, who do you got?
I just got 2 names here. One of them being they're 2 not to tag team, but the Bella Twins.
Yes.
If we remember how the Bellas won the women's title for the first time.
Yep.
That was definitely cheating.
Yes. Constantly doing twin magic. Constantly.
Yeah. And then Edge and Christian.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. I'll throw another tag team in there. How about the New Age Outlaws? Those guys.
Never won a match without cheating.
Yeah, I remember. I guess this wouldn't really be cheating, but I remember this match. I want to say it was like on a Monday Night Raw. It was I don't know if it was a 4 tag team match, like a 4 corners match or something. But I remember it was for the title, and Road Dogg and Billy Gunn got tagged into the ring against each other. Like I believe like LOD like 2000 was in the match, and like maybe the Headbanger.
Yeah, and they thought they were being real smart.
Yeah, like they were like, oh, we're gonna have these guys fight against each other, ha ha ha, and then like, one of them just pinned the other one real quick, and then they kept the belts, and I was like, it's genius, like damn it, and everybody was like, pissed off about it. I'm like, you dummies, LOD, come on. So, but
I don't think Road Dogg ever not cheated. When he was the roadie for Double J, he was constantly cheating.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett. God, there's another one off this list, but
the other ones I had was like Shinsuke with all of his nut shots here, and Cowboy Bob Orton with his cast for 20 years. Oh,
of course. Yeah, he's still wearing it. Yeah, unbelievable. Jesus. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. So the first 4 here. Just the way the bracket is set up, just because it's like a weird number of entrants. So the first 4 kind of get first round buys. So the first matchup is Triple H versus Mr. Fuji. Who do you guys think is the biggest, is a bigger cheater out of these 2? Squishy, I'll let you go first.
Now, are we talking whole career or just like greatest moments cheating? Because if we're going whole career, Mr. Fuji wins it.
However you want to take it, my man. I'm just gonna say, I know. Just I don't know, man. Triple H has got a pretty good career of cheating too. I mean,
yeah.
But when you think of Triple H, cheating isn't only the first thing that comes on. Mr. Fuji,
that's true.
It's Mr. Fuji because like when you hear the name Mr. Fuji, cheating is the first thing you think of.
That's true. That's true. Good point. Good point. Harmon, what do you think?
I don't know. Triple H has got a 20+ year career of shady bullshit. I'm gonna go Triple H.
Triple H. Oh man. Oh, brother, I'm in the hot seat. Man, I really like what Squishy said about when you just think of Mr. Fuji. You know what? I'm gonna go Mr. Fuji because that is the Mr. Fuji that I knew personally as a kid. I know that he had this like long storied like wrestling career, but for me as a kid growing up, I saw Mr. Fuji as the heel manager who was going to throw salt in your eyes every time. So Mr. Fuji gets the nod. He's moving on.
I just want to throw out that Triple H was my pick, so for me to pick against them, like it was a strong competitor
Yeah,
to have to choose against Triple H.
good call. Good call. Let's see. Next up, we have The Miz versus the Hulkster. Harmon, start us off.
Easy win. The Hulkster.
The Hulkster taking it. All right.
Yeah.
I will go next, and I am going to also say the Hulkster, so it's pretty uneventful. I think the Hulkster, I stand by my points that I made earlier, is that everybody thinks it was just Hollywood, oh, he turned heel. No, this guy's been heel the whole time. I mean, he was always up in Macho's business. Macho couldn't get a WWE championship title reign without Hogan, like, just up his ass, and it was really annoying for me, even as a child, seeing this, like, why the hell's Hogan there? Get him out of there. So Hogan's going to move on. Squishy, what would you have said? Hogan or The Miz?
I would have definitely said Hogan as well. It's hard to make. Hogan did cheat a lot, but are you going to cheer for the Sheik? Like, come on.
Right. True. Good points. Let's see. Other first round matchups. We have the Hot Rod, Roddy Piper versus Bobby Heenan. Wow, that's a tough one. That is a tough matchup.
Jeez.
Let's see. I haven't gone first yet. I am going to say... I'm going to say Bobby Heenan because he just managed like nothing but heel superstars and was always looking for that easy out. He would cheat and distract refs. Piper, like I said earlier, great heel, maybe the best of all time, but just such a long time where he was not cheating, like where his face. So I'm going to go Heenan. Squishy, what do you say?
I'm going against you. I'm saying Roddy Piper because he would cheat, and the fans were behind it. Like he was just, and when he get caught, he'd be like, "Ah, you caught me, referee!" Like, and it was just like that was Piper. He would try, and like it was just he was cool with trying, and like he was still babyface. Also, the coconut shot, like
legendary, right?
Like that is the cheapest shot that you can do unless you're Vince McMahon taking the title from Brett at Survivor Series.
It's true. Yeah. And
God, you Canadians will not let that go.
You damn Canadians. We're from Maine. We're practically Canadian. Jesus Christ. But no, you're right, man. Piper did a lot of like eye poking and stuff like as a face. So that makes sense, man. Harmon, who do you got? You are the tiebreaker here.
I've got to just go on the fact that, like Piper used weapons and stuff sometimes, and was it cheating? Yeah. Was it wrong? Probably not. I'm gonna go with Bobby Heenan because he was sneaky and underhanded. He was trying not to get caught. Piper didn't care if he got caught. But Bobby Heenan, on the other hand, he would, grab a shoe or send somebody else out there, or he'd hide the weapon. He was the worst.
Yeah,
but the best.
All right, Heenan moving on. 2 managers in the second round here. All right, we got Rick the Model Martel versus Ken Patera. Man, whose turn is it? I forgot. I lost track. Harmon, why don't you go?
I'll go first. I am gonna go with my pick, Rick Martel, because he was just that sprayer took out more eyeballs. Jeez. Killed me as a kid.
True. Yeah, it did. Squishy, who do you got?
This is a bracket of cheaters. Ken Patera's mantra was you have to cheat to win. Like the guy was beloved as a face, but then got so much natural heat as a heel. And his mantra was you got to cheat to win. And he did. Every win he got, he cheated. So it's Ken Patera, without a doubt, my pick.
Oh, man. Remember Ken Patera's hair? Oh, my God. That was great. He had a good do back in the day. Man, this one's tough because I was like really, really young. Like when Patera went heel, like I remember that going like when I was like really young. Martel was more in my wheelhouse where I started to really understand wrestling and as a kid. So he's kind of, oh man, these are both so good. This is like a first round blockbuster here. I think in both of them, both faces beforehand too, and then both turning drastically. God, I'm going to go just because it's in my wheelhouse a little bit more. I'm going to go Martel because that sprayer, man, he wouldn't stop. I just remember vividly that feud with him and Jake the Snake. So Martel getting the nod, moving on. Man, these second round matchups, boys, these are gonna be tough. Right at the top, let's start at second round. Eddie Guerrero versus Mr. Fuji. Whew. Wow. I'll go first. I'm gonna say it's really hard to argue with Eddie Guerrero. I'm just gonna say it. Eddie Guerrero gets my vote. I mean, lie, cheat, and steal. Go. Squishy, who do you got?
Eddie Guerrero, hands down. He was one of the best. I mean, who else would hit the guy with the chair, hit it to the ground so it made the sound, then he'd lie down? Like, that's genius.
It is genius, right? So
That's the best cheating I've ever seen.
Yeah. I loved it. So Eddie G, moving on. Harmon, who would you have said?
Oh, yeah, Eddie Guerrero. And Eddie would use other people to cheat too. You know, he would use his, he would use his cousins. He'd use China. He'd use whoever was around.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't he once use his friend and just told him to punch him in the face so he could get the win by DQ? I'm pretty sure that happened.
It sounds like something he would do. Yes, for sure. All right, Fuji is out of here. Eddie Guerrero moving on. Next up, we've got Hulk Hogan versus China. Whoo-wee. Harmon, bring it to the house. What do you have?
This is boy, this is tough.
This is tough.
I'm gonna have to go with the Hollywood Hulkster. He wasn't even trying at that point. He was just straight up cheating.
Yeah, there was a lot of times where he wasn't even wrestling. Like he was just doing shady shit in NWO. And his matches were terrible. Just awful.
I mean, the finger poke of doom. I mean, that's you can't do that.
Yeah, one of his signature moves was a back rake, which I was like, oh come on, that's such a what a cheaty move that is. Squishy, who do you have?
I got to go with China. I grew up in the Attitude Era, and I can't count how many times I screamed bloody murder at my TV when she'd low blow somebody, when Earl Hebner had his back turned. Talk about a referee that should be in this list of cheaters, because, good God.
Yeah, I know, right? Talk about Twin Magic, WrestleMania.
Yeah. And Neil Patrick, we should have put him on the list.
Neil Patrick, yeah. Nick Patrick? Yeah.
Nick Patrick, that's what it was.
Neil Patrick Harris as a referee.
Neil Patrick Harris?
Nick Patrick, most hated ref in all of wrestling.
But I just want to say that guy works so damn hard. He tears down every ring. He sets up every ring. Yeah, he's head of ring crew for WWE SmackDown.
Oh wow, I did not know that. The more you know. I love that. We were very critical of Nick Patrick on a old WCW pay-per-view about his count, how he lays down sideways.
Kyle was having a fit over it.
Yeah, our buddy Kyle was losing his mind about it. He's like, I hate it. I just hate it.
He had to cock his arm after every count. It was so weird.
Yeah. And didn't they do an angle where he was a shady ref, where he was getting paid off and stuff for a while? And he had a
Was that him or Little Nate?
Oh
no, they both did that bullshit.
Yeah. But I feel like Nick Patrick had this whole the Little Nate thing was the obvious because he was with Flair, but I feel like
but that happened in WCW. I think Nick Patrick had he did it in WWE.
Really?
Yeah, when he first came over.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, oh god, now I'm split. Hogan, China. I think I'm gonna ride this Hulk Hogan wave into the semis here because for all the reasons I've previously mentioned, that Hogan was just a shitbag the entire time. And keep in mind, I am a big Hulkamaniac, by the way. I just see through it, and I saw him cheating at an early age going, what is this? I think China also, after she separated from DX and Triple H, she had a great career as a wrestler on her own. that didn't really involve cheating as much. You know, she was the IC champ, the women's champ. She was in the Rumble. I mean, she had like all these accolades that are just like phenomenal. That really didn't harness itself on like cheating. So, and the Hulkster, I just feel like the older he got, the worse his wrestling got, which is saying something. And he had to really do like cheaty moves like that. So, hit people with belts and stuff. So, remember he take off the weightlifting belt and just like slap the Rock around? Remember that? Come on.
Oh yeah.
What the hell? So Hogan, moving on. We've got Macho Man Randy Savage taking on Bobby the Brain Heenan. Squishy, who do you got?
It's got to be the Macho Man Randy Savage. He had probably one of the greatest heel runs. Him and Steamboat, like right there. That's all you need to say, and he's one of the greatest cheaters of all time, which culminated one of the best matches at WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
So Macho.
I'm going to side with you and go with Macho. I mean, he shattered a scepter over the Ultimate Warrior's head once. I mean, if that doesn't scream cheater, come on. I mean, that's ridiculous. And then like the whole run where he had Sherry with him, they were doing, you know, the same bullshit where like he'd hold her in front of him and not let the guy hit him, and then he'd like run around the ring while the ref was, you know, getting involved, and he'd like hit the guy in the back. So just all kinds of cheating moves. So I'm going Macho. Harmon, what would you have said?
I would have stuck with Heenan.
You would have gone
Yeah.
Heenan. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's too bad because Macho's getting the nod.
I know.
Yeah.
What
The
do we got?
model, Rick Martel versus Ric Flair. Oh boy. Two Ricks going at it. I'm going to. I'll go first. I think it's a no-brainer. I think Ric Flair is like the ace in this whole tournament. So this is his kind of first matchup here, and I think he annihilates the model Rick Martel in this. Ric Flair, dirtiest player in the game. Harmon, who do you have?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Yep.
No, nobody could eye poke like Ric Flair.
No. And then the begging, and then the low blow. Yeah, it had it all. Ric Flair. Squishy, do I dare ask?
It's a no-brainer. Nobody takes that. Nobody. He has a move off the corner where he just takes a bump to his back named after him, the Flair bump. Like that guy just can win any. You put any tournament together, Ric Flair's in it. He's qualified to be in any tournament.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Like you could just say anything, and like Flair will probably find his way in there. Like you could do like we've done best hair, and like Flair was in there. You know, like I think we
most
did,
beloved, most well known.
Yeah, I think we did like best like prop, and it was like Ric Flair's robe or something like that. And it's like he just finds his way in there. That's how great that guy is. So
he's breaking out into the rap scene now too. So like he's got a rap song after him.
What?
Like
Really?
The Ric Flair drip. Oh
my god, did he raps? Is that
No.
No. He's not. But he's like the song's about him, and he's in the music video just wooing the whole time.
Oh my goodness!
And then he was like trying to sell like autographed copies of this other guy's CD for like $50 online.
Oh my god!
This is the real thing. 100%.
I don't know any of this stuff. Oh my god, he is quite the character, man.
He's
That
a
man
cheater
will
in
do-
real life.
Yeah, he will do anything for money.
Oh goodness. All right, so we're down to the final four. Man, these matchups are tough. This one is out of this world. Eddie Guerrero versus Hulk Hogan. Ugh, man. Jesus, which one of you got?
I'll take the first because I already know.
Okay.
In my era, it was Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie.
The guy, like I grew up, and SmackDown was the thing to watch because of Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
What was he going to do this week? He would cheat, and he was a face when he cheated too. Like he would cheat against JBL, and the fans loved it.
Yeah, people would go.
He made cheating cool. Like, so like Eddie Guerrero's got my vote, and I'm just a youngin'. I didn't really get to watch a lot of Hogan in his prime, so I'm going with Eddie because it's what I grew up and what I know.
Perfect. Harmon, who do you have?
I'm gonna go Eddie. Eddie was a great heel. He could cheat with the best of them. Plus, I don't want Hogan winning anything.
You hate Hogan. For the record, I would have gone Eddie Guerrero too, even though I've been like riding this Hogan train. I think it stops here. Eddie Guerrero, like Squishy said, made cheating cool. And it was so innovative too. It wasn't like, oh, he's just gonna like roll do a roll up and hold the tights, or he's just gonna like do this. Like he's going to take a chair, hit the mat with it, throw it to the guy, have the guy catch it, and then he's gonna like lay down while the ref's back.
Yeah, most guys cheat, and you hear a "oh" from the crowd, like "oh, he cheated." Eddie would cheat, and you hear like "yeah," you know.
Yeah, like he'd get a chair, and the crowd would cheer because they knew like what was coming. You know that he wasn't going to use it on the guy, but he was gonna find a way to somehow make it look like the other guy was cheating to get an easy DQ win. I've seen him do it with belts, with like a title belt. He did the same thing. He'd throw it at the guy and like lay down his back, and it was really innovative and really it was really fun to watch. Like it was really funny to see like what he's gonna do next. So I love it. Eddie Guerrero moving on to the next round. Moving into the finals. So we've got Macho versus Flair in this matchup here. So who do we have here? Macho versus Flair. Harmon, you want to go for it?
Sure. I will go Flair because Macho, he was a baby face and had to become a heel and then whatever. Flair was doing the same. I mean, Flair's had the same match 9,000 times. He has poked. He's stuck his thumb in more eyes. Oh man,
it's true. It's true. I will. I'm gonna side with you as much as I love Macho. I mean, there's no arguing with Flair here. I mean, Macho would cheat, but I think Flair, that was his thing. Like he was a cheater. That's what he was known for. Dirtiest player in the game. Macho, I think, had other things going on where he was kind of crazy, but he wasn't necessarily known as like a habitual cheater. Or Flair, that was his gig. So, Squishy, over to you. What would you have said?
I was going to say Rick. I was like, because I was going to say, can you really consider Macho the cheater, or would it have been Sensational Sherry be the cheater of the duo?
It's true.
That, like, Ric Flair, it was just, that's him. It's who he is as a person in real life. It is who his character was. He's a cheater. He's the reason why he's called the dirtiest player in the game. And I'm so excited for this final.
Yeah, so this final is the dirtiest player in the game versus Mr. Lie, Cheat, and Steal.
Oh, my God. What
Two guys who made their entire lives on cutting corners and figuring out a way to cheat without getting caught and just winning title after title after title.
Oh my God. This is like the hardest finals I think we've ever had. Usually it's like somehow like kind of obvious, or like maybe the underdog kind of like snuck in there.
Squishy, why don't you go ahead first?
See, I was just about to suggest, in the spirit of cheating, is there any way this could be a double DQ? Both of them walk away?
Like, great. That would be awesome. Yeah. I mean,
because like, how can you choose? These two are the guys that were the old school cheater, and you've got the new school cheater.
It's true. Like, we could end here like we normally do, and like leave it to the fans and just leave it to the listeners.
We could cheat the fans out of a winner. Is that what you're saying?
We could cheat the fans out of a winner. How dare you, sir? Yeah, we could do that. I say let's do it. I think that's a great idea. We could cheat them out of a winner tonight, but then I think we do a poll and let our listeners maybe decide. Because I don't know. I could make cases.
Yeah, really.
Both of these guys. I could talk for hours about these two men, and why they should be considered the best, biggest cheater of all time. I don't know. Do you guys want to do that? You guys want to leave it here and let the listeners pick in a poll on Twitter or something? That's what we should do.
We should do that, yeah.
All right, let's do that.
The biggest cheaters in wrestling.
Eddie Guerrero versus Ric Flair. So listeners at home, hit up our Twitter. There will be a poll there. You will find votes. Eddie Guerrero, Ric Flair. You guys want to give us a reason why? We got the hotline. Or you can just like hit us up in a message or something. That hotline is...
Yeah, if there's somebody that we left off this list and you want to plead their case, give us a call.
Yeah, give us a call. Let us know that we're a bunch of dumbasses and we didn't put, someone
There's Jericho on this list.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter.
I thought about him pretty hard, too, before this when I was writing stuff down.
like traitor stuff. Oh my god, yeah. Remember that heel turn? Holy shit, that was shocking. Ugh, worst.
I can remember watching G.I. Joe the cartoon, and Sergeant Slaughter's on there, and then wrestling would come on at like noontime, and he's a bad guy, and I was like, this is so wrong.
Oh my god, we got to do that. That'll be our next tournament, like biggest turns, like heel turns or face turns. That would be fun to do. But holy moly, yeah, Slaughter did nothing but cheat after that when he was a heel.
I mean, he was saving the world from Cobra 1 second, and then
yeah, true. And then with the Iron Sheik in the next half hour. Oh boy.
I was a torn child, I tell you right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, that's where we leave you.
Oh my god, I forgot somebody on this list.
No, who?
Mr. Perfect.
That's true. I don't know though. I mean, he's a cheater, but what a great athlete though. Just a good ring technician.
I liked. Was it on Raw last week? They played a clip of him like doing all the sports stuff, like sinking like half court shots, and
they show him throwing the ball, and then they just do close up of the hoop, and it's just like swish.
Yeah. They showed him throwing a pass, and then he runs down the field and catches it.
Yeah,
scores a touchdown.
Yeah, he was the best. I liked Perfect. I know you get gripes against him, Harmon, but I loved Perfect.
I liked him as a wrestler. Just as a person, I think he was probably a piece of shit.
Wow. there's that.
Speaking ill of the dead. Wow.
Yikes. Well, that's where we leave you, folks. No,
Josh, I've talked about this before on the show, but like everybody that goes on a podcast talks about how they got addicted to drugs back in the 80s and 90s. They all got it from Mr. Perfect. They were all riding in a car with him, and he's like, "Hey, here, have some Somas."
Here you go, buddy.
Ooh.
All right. Well, Squishy, thank you so much for coming on tonight, man.
Thanks for having me. I was just about to tell you guys, I gotta go. The girlfriend cooked nachos, and I smell them, and it smells delicious. I'm sorry she didn't come and burst it in and say something outlandish, but
come on, she should have just come in and be like nachos.
I would have just put the phone down and walked away. Like, I'm Squishy for a reason. You say Squishy. Food, I'm there.
Would have been like, Squishy, who do you pick? We hear crunch, crunch, crunch.
Nice. Well, cool, man. Thank you so much. Where can our listeners follow you on social media? You got any plugs there?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at just Ruckstuhl, RUCKSTUHL. I post there every day. Every Friday, I post Squishy Thoughts, where I post a unmotivational quote.
I love it.
So, like, first week it was, if at first you don't succeed, order pizza. Second week was illiteracy. What does that even mean? So it's just quoting, it's always sunny, or I'm quoting something. It's just something foolish. You can follow me on Twitter at SquishyRef. Those are my two spots.
Perfect. Thanks, man. That's great.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys. It was a blast, and I hope to see you all at a wrestling show called Limitless very shortly.
Absolutely, brother. Hey, enjoy those nachos, brother.
Thanks, brother.
All right, man.
Bye.
Harmon.
Yeah.
That was Squishy.
That was Squishy.
What a good dude.
That was fun.
That was fun, man. Good times. Where can our listeners find you?
Surprised you didn't pick like Jacques Rougeau or something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like a Canadian. Yeah. Where can people find you on social media, buddy?
Lately? At Harmon316.
Yeah, lately. What have you been doing lately?
No, I've been looking at some new vehicles. Might be time to retire the toaster. I don't know.
Really? Wow.
I don't know. I'm debating. I mean, it's still running and it runs decent, and it's still got some life left into it. I don't. Well, it's just a pipe dream. On Instagram at Bob Harmon, right?
I like that you started to get real there, and then you're like, screw it. I can't get into this. I'm just gonna give you my Instagram.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm on Twitter at Johnny Fashion. You guys can check out the show's Twitter at Main Event Pod. We're also on Facebook and Instagram at Main Event Pod. And we're on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, all that stuff. We already mentioned the hotline, Teespring, buy a shirt.
If everybody just buys a shirt, we can buy like a van and have a mobile podcast studio.
Oh my God, that's what.
But you guys aren't buying shirts, so this is why I can't have a new car. Way to ruin it!
Now they started out hot, man. The shirts are good. We just got to push it a little bit more. We got to make some posts. That's the thing, man. If we're just quiet on things. I think our social media, we're both exhausted.
That and Michelle shirts for $12.
$12 hairs. Yeah, get them.
$12.
Get them.
They are nice shirts, though.
Yeah, they are.
Still, though, Anthony Green, softest shirts out there. Jesus.
What's he using? Like unicorn fur or something?
I think so.
God. AG. All right, guys. Well, I think next week we got DL Hurst coming on the show. Finally, not his fault, our fault, my fault, more specifically, my fault. So look for that next week. And big shout out to the band Follow the Fox. They do our intro and outro every week. Follow them on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Follow the Fox Band. And they've got a website, followthefoxband.com. Check them out for tour dates and everything else. A bunch of side projects they're all part of. Dylan and Sarah, they're really good folk. Go check them out if you're ever in Denver, Colorado. That's it. Harmon, let's get out of here.
Did we sell all the hats?
We did, yes. Hats will be going out soon. Winner will be by the time this airs, a winner will be picked. But
we won't know it.
I don't think we'll know it. So still working out the details on that. I'm gonna try and figure that out because I have a bunch of people that have to give the hats to in person because they're
I'm telling you, just stuff them all in envelops, mix them around, put names on them.
It's true. I will say though that the odds of the people, the people that want the hats, the Becky Lynch hat, the odds have greatly increased because I have certain people who don't want the Becky Lynch hat. They're just like, hey man, I just want the regular hat. I just want to rock your hat. I don't need the Becky Lynch hat to because I want to wear your hat out and about. So they've they want the hat, but they've kind of withdrawn their name from the drawing. So that's good for people that really want the hat because
that's how I feel about my David Starr hat. It's a sweet hat, but I don't wear it because it's autographed.
It's autographed, right? Yeah, it's hard to wear it, but yeah. So I believe we have four spots now. So 25% chance of getting that Becky Lynch hat. The other 3 spots are just straight up sales. They just want the regular hat. They don't want the Becky Lynch hat. So very cool. Good odds for you people. And we're going to do that drawing. We'll do a Facebook Live thing, I think. And, just to kind of clue everybody in, but yeah, that's it. They're going out soon, but anyway, Harmon, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Again, sorry about last week. Bailing on you like a real schmuck. My fault. My B.
Somebody's got to stack cans.
It's true. It is true. Somebody's got to do it. Yeah, listeners at home.
Go to work. Don't call out. Be a dick.
Yeah, do that. Go to work. Don't call out so I don't have to go to work for you. Listeners at home, thanks for listening, ultimately, though. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will catch you later.
I'm calling out next week.